Hey there, hello there, it's Jeff Cutter, and welcome you to another part of the Degrassi season thing. But unlike most ranking videos, I actually am going to do an extra one that doesn't have any rankings. Yes, these are the best of the rest, the best storylines from Degrassi history that did not end up being top three in each of its respective seasons and into the top 50 list. So basically, there are storylines such as Riley coming out of the closet, Emma and Manny's Problems season 3, Paige's rape in seasons 2 and 4, Spamma season 9, Manny and Craig season 2, Zoe's sexuality, Vegas night, Those ones made the list of the top 50. And of course, I will reveal the top 10 in another video. However, it's safe to say that there was a lot of good storylines that didn't make the cut, either by the fact that the voting system screwed them up, or basically, I'd never thought of them. So I'm going to go through each of the 18 seasons and probably see if I can remember any storyline that did not make the top three of any list. So season one, I would say season one, the misses were Jimmy taking ecstasy, Spinner's, not ecstasy, but taking Spinner's Ritalin pill to try to do better on the basketball team in a rivalry with Sean, and Spinner got in trouble for booting the school, and Raj basically forces Spinner to take his medication in front of him all the time now that he's missed a dose. And Spinner didn't tell Raj that Jimmy took it. Jimmy, in fact, injures Sean, gets kicked out the basketball team, and then Jimmy and Sean decide to brawl, and Emma gets unfortunately involved in it. And you also got the storyline about Emma dealing with the fact that she's worried that Coach Mr. Armstrong is getting too close with Liberty. Of course, this was kind of based off of her being catfished and all that with that older gentleman, and she was worried about Liberty and all that. She starts a rumor that unfortunately gets spread huge, and then of course Liberty blows Emma off, saying that you should be saving the whales and do your environmental causes because being friends sucks. Kind of foreshadowing, don't you think? Also, another storyline is Manny being on the Spirit Squad and Emma having a snit about it because Emma's like cheerleading sexist. And Paige says, no, we're going to have boys on the team too as cheerleader, like cheer people. And Emma said, it's not about the gender, it's about the fact that they're paraded out there in clothes that don't really make sense. So, of course, Manny thinks that Emma's jealous, but Emma says that it's stupid. There's some editorial. Manny has to choose between Spirit Squad and Emma. She still is part of the Spirit Squad, but she does kind of blow Emma off, and understandable so. Season 2, which did not, one major storyline that didn't make the cut was Emma and her making a mountain out of a molehill just before Snake and Spike's wedding. I know the whole Snake and Spike dynamic was a storyline itself, but basically once they get married, Emma has issues. Her hair gets screwed up. The cake is spelled wrong. Sean's coming to the thing. Manny invited Sean to the wedding, even though that Emma doesn't want anything to do with Sean for obvious reasons. And then, she finds out that Spike is upset about this baby and wants to have an abortion. Emma is anti-abortion, saying that that's not good. You're not doing it right. And Spike said, well, I don't want a second mistake. And Emma turns out to be really triggered. So she decides to go to the Snake's bachelor party, gets Tony and JT in trouble, inadvertently, of course. But basically says that I feel terrible about this. And Snake deserves to know. Spike's not too happy about Emma butting in. And Snake says, well, at least she's being adult about this. They both agree they should have the kid, and, it'll be good for Emma. Let me think. No. Season 3, what was not in... Yeah, Season 3 was hard. I mean, Ellie's cutting even didn't make the cut. No, sorry. Ellie's cutting wasn't in the top 3, but because I had a choice, and I knew Season 3 won the seasons tournament, so basically I decided to put Ellie's cutting in. You could argue about Emma dealing with a breakup with Sean, right when she has to deal with doing more responsibilities around the house because, she has a little brother now, and Spike and Snake's chemo. I guess that's the storyline that should have been there. Snake's chemo. And, it was not too pleased. Emma basically had a thing for Sean, to get rid of Sean for moving on in a sense. She's with Chris. I don't know if she really liked Chris. I still am not completely convinced that Emma wanted to be with Chris. I feel like Emma just only was with Chris just to make Sean jealous, and it failed, and that's why Emma dumped Chris off. You also have, especially the fact that Emma trying to find Shane in season 3. That did not make the top 3. I don't know why. It was a good storyline. I mean, Emma is welcoming a new sibling in the world and wants to know about her birth father. Spike doesn't give her any clues. So Emma decides to snoop around, finds a Shane McCabe, but he's a black doctor and knows that it's not true. So she goes to the alumni stuff for Snake and finds out that he's in it somewhere in Stouffville. So she takes Craig along with her and finds out that he's a mentally deficient guy who had an accident off the bridge. So they connect. They try to get home from Stouffville, but are caught up with the fact the train doesn't run. So they have to call Joey. Joey brings Emma home. Emma gets blasted by Spike. But the next day, Snake decides to become the adult in the situation and tells Emma about Shane's story, about how his parents didn't want him around the kid, and basically Shane took acid and jumped off or fell off a bridge. We don't know. I think he would probably have maybe jumped off in his acid thing, but I think he fell off. Luckily, he was alive for some reason. So anyway, that's why Emma's memories are fuzzy. And, you know, Snake said that Spike was going to wait to tell you, and, you know, that should not have happened, but you owe it to your mom to call her. And thankfully Emma did, and then finds out about Shane destroying the house, so Emma calms Shane down, and basically Spike apologizes, but Emma says, no, it's okay, I know how you feel. So yeah, that didn't make it there. Season 4, well, anything other than Time Stands Still wasn't going to make it. Well, Craig's bipolar thing and Paige's rape made it in. The one main story that shockingly didn't get in was Paige's relationship with Mr. Olander. And I'm like, what the heck? It was a good storyline. I mean, Paige, for some strange reason, decides to go after her yoga teacher, especially with the fact that Spinner now has eyes for Manny, and basically they break up. So Paige finds out that Olander is a student teacher at Degrassi and still wants to be with him. And they go through trials and tribulations. Paige screws up a college interview and all that, thanks to Olander giving her weed. Paige and Olander are found out by Simpson inadvertently, of course, but Paige is upset. And Paige actually tries to protect Olander and says that I should drop out of media immersion and drop out of Degrassi and transfer. And Hatsuko said that's not going to happen because it's too late to transfer to schools. You're going to fail again. You're going to fail. And, you know, it's creepy how Paige is trying to deal with, protect Olander. I'm like, what the fuck? But thank God that Olander actually took the fall for everything. He's axed as student teacher, and he goes up to the Yukon and then breaks up with Paige in season 5, which led to Palex. So, yeah. Season 5, Emma's eating disorder. That's the big storyline that was not picked. I mean, especially with the fact that Snake had a treat with Hatzalakos. Strangely, at the same time as Emma with Peter. And for that matter, why did Emma, Manny's thing at season 5 not get picked? I don't know why. But, I mean, you know, Manny be kicked out of her house by her dad, who basically doesn't like Manny's acting and all that, and says that I'm the boss, and Manny gets kicked out and Emma takes her in. Of course, you know, after Emma spills the beans to Spike about Snake's treast, Spike throws Snake out, not just because Snake had the treast with Hatzalakos, but because he was forcing Emma to keep quiet. Emma was worried about things and worried she ruined the family, so it got to her head, and then she went with an eating disorder to try to get control back in her life. Sadly, though, that fails miserably. Peter finds out about it and wants Emma to get help. Emma blurts out angrily at Peter, Manny, and Simpson about her problems. I wish she did it to Spike, because I think Spike was pressuring her to do a lot. Anyway, Emma has a panic attack, is in the hospital, beats the eating disorder by season 6. So yeah, that was creepy. And the funny thing is that Emma eating disorder, the actress who played Emma, Miriam McDonald, in seasons 1 and 2 had an eating disorder. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention season 3. You could have made the case for Rick and Terry. You know, their first their relationship that ended with the hit on the head hitting the rock. But basically, it led to Time Stand Still. So yeah, I think in a sense that's why it wasn't voted in. Season 6, I had a hard time. There wasn't really many storylines around. I can think of one storyline, but that's kind of where it led to the season 6 winner. Season 7, the finale, I was shocked it didn't make the list of the top 3 because of the fact that, you know, Jimmy's with his girlfriend to the prom and all that. And then Liberty has eyes on Damien, which is supposed to be stupid because Damien's supposed to be with Emma, and Toby blurts it out and says that Damien's proud of it too and bragging about things. Liberty is upset, but Emma assures Liberty that it was Damien who's the evil one and not her. I guess in a sense that Emma learned because in season 4, when she was upset over Liberty being with Chris, even though Emma and Chris broke up, you know, Emma had to be the bigger person this time, and she was. And they did this nice tribute to JT with turning his graduation cap around in the JT York Memorial Garden. That was sweet. Season 8, I guess you could say the start of Sav and Anya's problems because of Sav's religious parents and all that. And basically, Anya trying her best to be with Sav, and Sav says that he'll see Anya behind everyone's back. Season 9, can't really remember much about season 9. I think that season 9 was kind of the same. Oh, season 8 should have been Claire causing a commotion about Connor being kicked out because he was different and all that, and then the diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome for Connor. I think that it should have been there, but Claire, you know, getting the Shep in trouble. The Shep had to go to sensitivity training and not really learning. I forget, was season 9 when Connor, I think season 10 was when Connor had to deal with Love Queen, whatever her name is. Because, and then in season 11, Connor got in trouble for looking at women's underwear and all that, stealing it for an app. And then, of course, being sent to another school to deal with his urges, and then it worked out perfectly. Snake knew what he had to do. Season 10, I think season 10 was fine. Season 11, when Claire blasts Eli with that, "Did you flip a switch and forget about me?" That drama line. I think season 11 was when Katie was hooked on painkillers because she was trying out for the Canadian women's team and she failed. Season 12, of course, was hard because of one main storyline. I can't really think of anything else. Season 13, I should have made like a third thing that's the cyberbullying of Maya. Like, it should have been there. Like, Zoe cyberbullying Maya in season 13 and Maya getting in trouble for reacting to it. And basically, it's like, blame the victim and all that. Season 14, season 14, what did they not cover in season 14? I can't remember. I don't think they cleared. I don't think so. Season 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, one storyline that should have been in was Hunter being upset that Yale becomes non-binary and wants to know if Yale wants to be a boy or a girl. But Yale doesn't give a straight answer. Hunter's friends basically laugh at him because of Hunter now being branded as what is Hunter identifying as. And then Hunter basically gets mad at them. And a lot of people said that, you know, he was transphobic. But not really. He just liked girls. And a lot of people probably think he was jerk because of his dear old dad, Mayor Hollingsworth. So yeah, so that's the storylines that should have made the list, but failed miserably. So yeah. But the next video will be the top 10, and I will be in different clothes. Not naked. I'll be in clothes. See you later.